И этот парень будет, хоть он сейчас проиграет, хоть выиграет, это всегда будет. Пока он дерется, это будет такой экзамен для всех.
Были последние тяжелые спарринги у Ислама. Очень хорошо поработал. Хорошо себя чувствует. И по весу тоже идет по программе, по расписанию. Хорошие тренки были. Хорошие спарринги были. Тяжелые удары на груши. И в конце поборолись. Минут 25 в партере. Как обычно. Хорошая тренка была сегодня. Ислам чувствует себя просто отлично. Алхамдулилля.
We have the main person that I believe is always here for Islam, and that's Khabib. He is basically running the whole program, really. I do little bits and parts here and there. I've become more of a mentor type than actually the head coach now, and I like my role. I do less work, but I also get to watch someone like Khabib take over with the great.
As the anticipated clash between Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry approaches day by day, Islam Makhachev is taking his preparation to another level ahead of UFC 330. Training alongside Khabib Nurmagomedov in the mountains, the champion is pushing through intense training sessions as he prepares for one of the biggest challenges of his career.
По мере возможности я стараюсь быть рядом и помогать. Я всегда там или созваниваюсь, или в зале, или прихожу, сам борюсь, сам показываю, делюсь. Потому что я чувствую, что у меня есть еще много чего, с чем я могу с ними поделиться. Потому что у меня тоже есть дела, есть своя жизнь, проекты, которые я веду. Ну, много всего бывает, но больше всего, конечно, мне приносит, скажем, позитивную энергию, хорошо себя чувствую, когда я всегда в зале. Это то, чем я занимался всю свою жизнь. Когда я в зале, когда я борюсь, когда сам борюсь, когда я делюсь своим опытом. И эти практически 90% ребят, которые здесь, они все были рядом со мной, когда я выступал, когда я был действующим спортсменом. И также мне тоже хочется отдавать им обратно, делиться с ними опытом, потому что я знаю, что когда я в зале и когда меня нету, это две разные.
Khabib Nurmagomedov explained that preparing for Ian Garry presents unique challenges because finding a sparring partner who can replicate his movement, style, and physical attributes is extremely difficult. He noted that fighters with Garry's size and skill set are rare at that weight class, making both the training camp and the fight itself a major challenge for Islam Makhachev.
Будет тяжелый, во-первых, тренинг-кэмп. Почему? Потому что надо такого соперника найти.
Найти, да?
Да, который будет вот так же бегать, вот так же.
Таких немного,
ногами, да? Да, немного. Особенно в этом весе их немного. Если даже таких находить, он будет уже в большом весе. Именно у спарринг-партнера. И сам бой тоже будет. Это мое личное мнение.
Even with those obstacles, Islam Makhachev explained that the focus of his camp was refining their established techniques and repeatedly sharpening the combinations they had been working on throughout training. With the drills completed, he believes the final step is simply making weight and entering fight night fully prepared.
Это тебе уже не поможет. Надо вспоминать свои такие заготовки и больше их отрабатывать. То, что мы и делаем сегодня. В понедельник всю тренировку мы делали отработки. Осталось подогнать вес, и думаю, мы готовы, иншаллах.
That confidence extends beyond his grappling credentials as well. Striking coach Magomedgaji Bagandov suggested that Islam Makhachev's skill set is complete enough to give him the upper hand, even if the fight remains standing. He believes Makhachev has the better boxing ability and does not see any striking or Muay Thai department where his opponent has a clear advantage.
Если даже их взять, убрать в сторону борьбу, мое мнение, что Ислам даже чисто в боксе перебьет, в тайском боксе. Нету таких аспектов, где Ислам выступает.
On the other side, Ian Machado Garry is leaving nothing to chance as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career. Fully aware of the challenge in front of him, the Irish contender has dedicated himself to sharpening his movement, polishing his striking, and building the game plan he hopes will dethrone one of MMA's most dominant champions.
I'm fighting the scariest man in the division. Everyone in the world thinks the guy's the boogeyman in the division. I'm gonna go out there and shock everyone else's world, because in my world, I'm going to beat him. That kid that dreamt of being one of the greatest MMA fighters in the world is causing a pretty big deal. It's cool, but I try, it doesn't mean anything to me. For me, it's always a grind. It's train, fight, learn, grow, evolve, fight, do it again.
That work has extended beyond the gym. Garry has also intensified his conditioning program, putting extra emphasis on demanding leg workouts as he builds the strength and endurance needed to compete with Makhachev over 5 rounds at UFC 330.
Step forward, step your right, and southpaw, step up, and elbow, knee up there, elbow, boom. You want to step, you want the elbow to be, bam, bam, bam. So reset, step, elbow, left knee, elbow. Okay? After the knee, I'm forwarding, but
For Garry, however, the key to success lies in constant improvement. He explained that training camp is about surrounding himself with the best possible sparring partners, learning from both victories and setbacks, and refining his approach day after day until only the most effective weapons remain.
It's get the best looks you can from the sparring partners you've pulled in. Go out there, beat them up, get beaten up, learn, get better the next day, get better the day after, and eliminate all of those little minor shot selections that don't work and minimize it into the perfect game plan.
Ian also spoke highly of Islam Makhachev, describing him as one of the defining fighters of his era and acknowledging the reputation he has built across the sport. Garry emphasized that competing against a champion of Islam's caliber has only deepened his appreciation for his accomplishments, insisting that his respect for Makhachev remains intact despite their upcoming clash.
I don't believe Islam is afraid of anybody. I think he's absolutely one of the best fighters of this generation. I think he knows it. Everybody else knows it. We all respect him. I have nothing but love and respect for him. I've said this multiple times. Nothing changes because he's my opponent.
That confidence has not gone unnoticed. MMA guru believes Ian Machado Garry has the mentality to rise to the occasion, arguing that the challenger carries himself with complete confidence heading into the fight. According to him, Garry approaches the matchup with the mindset that victory is already within reach, bringing the kind of belief and ambition expected from a contender chasing the biggest win of his career.
But Ian Garry is going to rise to the occasion every time. He's got that type of energy about him where he thinks this is already in the bag and Makhachev shouldn't even be in there with him. Like, that's the energy as a contender he's going to have. Go for it, Schmidt.
Echoing that perspective, Chael Sonnen identified Ian Garry's size and distance management as the key factors in the matchup. Although he acknowledged Islam Makhachev's ability to pressure opponents and work his way inside, Sonnen argued that an extended training camp could allow Garry to refine his movement and striking range, potentially giving him the tools to keep the champion at bay.
Ian Garry, it's like anything. He's got a trade here. He does have the length. Ian does a very good job of controlling distance. Islam does a better job, I believe, of taking away distance. But you got a training camp, you got some time. Ian Garry, in theory, with that distance, in theory, he's right. If he can learn to keep you at the end of their punches.
Giving his breakdown of the matchup, Michael Bisping pointed to Islam Makhachev's world-class grappling as the key factor if the fight reaches the mat. At the same time, he noted that Ian Machado Garry's size, range, and footwork could create problems by forcing Islam to work from the outside. Bisping expects Garry to stick to that game plan throughout the contest, even though Makhachev's constant pressure could make it extremely challenging.
The record of Islam Makhachev is 28 wins and 1 loss, with 18 stoppages. And of course, if he can get a hold of Ian Garry and take him down, yeah, it's probably going to be easy. Ian will struggle to get back to his feet, and I don't think he can match Islam in terms of jiu-jitsu or submission grappling, okay? But it's the style that Ian Garry has. It is the length and the reach that he has, and it is his ability to silence out the crowd and not give a damn if you people are booing. If everyone in the arena is throwing their popcorn and the drinks and going, boo, this is garbage, because all Ian Garry is doing is dancing around, popping the jab, throwing the right hand, using push kicks to keep Islam away, he won't care, because on paper or according to the judges, he's winning the fight, and his job is to win the fight and become the welterweight champion of the world. But of course, it ain't gonna be easy. Islam's gonna go forward, I'm just saying.
Jason Mayhem Miller also sees danger in Gary's physical tools. He admitted that the Irishman's size and movement make the matchup particularly intriguing and questioned whether Makhachev would be able to overwhelm him as quickly as some expect. In Miller's view, Gary's clearest path to victory is to remain mobile, lean on his kickboxing, and force Islam into an exhausting chase around the octagon.
That's the fight I've been waiting for, really, because all my Muslim friends are like, Islam! And I'm like, no, I don't know, pal, that's a big man. And Ian Machado Garry, I don't think will get tapped out to a darts in the first round. I mean, and that is Islam's big deal right there. You know, he's got such a strength. Islam has, you know, they always brag about it, whatever, but you can just see it when he gets in on a single or holds that head and arm choke or whatever the hell submission comes. You can just see like raw coils of Dagestani power coming out of that guy. So Ian Garry's job is to dance revolution all around the damn octagon, kicking them, you know, moving, punching them, and make it a little kickboxing bout, because while Islam has solid kickboxing, he's sort of, they have this Dagestani style that, I don't know, it looks like it comes from European kickboxing, and it's good, and it works well with their wrestling.
Expanding on that thought, Miller also pointed to Ian Machado Garry's unorthodox style, highlighting his stance switches, long-range kicking game, and the physical advantages that come with his height and reach. He believes Garry could make the fight highly competitive if he has significantly improved his wrestling and possesses the conditioning to maintain his pace over 5 rounds.
Garry has a sort of wacky new age style, switching stance and kicking from long range, and the physicality of him being so tall and long can help him a lot. I think if he's improved his wrestling a boatload and then he has the gas tank to go 5 rounds, I mean, that could be a very advantageous fight for Ian Garry.
That confidence in Gary's tools was echoed by Sean O'Malley, who believes the Irish contender could surprise many people with his takedown defense and striking ability against Islam Makhachev. O'Malley expects Garry to find success by stuffing some of Islam's wrestling attempts and using his footwork, cage awareness, and distance management to dictate the action on the feet. He also pointed to Gary's larger frame as a potentially important factor in the matchup.
I think dude, I feel like he's gonna stuff some takedowns and just look really, really good on the feet, land his shots, circle. He does very good footwork, very good cage awareness, good distance management. And he's going to be a lot bigger than Islam, I think, just frame-wise.
Looking at the fight from a broader perspective, O'Malley framed the contest as a fascinating clash between Dagestan and Ireland, comparing Gary's confidence and self-belief to that of a young Conor McGregor. He suggested that Makhachev understands the challenge ahead, recognizing Gary's length, speed, and movement as serious obstacles. O'Malley also questioned whether Islam, after years of dominance at the top, still possesses the same hunger as Garry, who appears determined to seize the biggest opportunity of his career.
Islam versus Ian Machado Garry, Dagestan versus Ireland. Ian McGarry, confident as ever. Ian McGarry is reminding us of a young Conor McGregor. He believes he's going to go in there. He believes he's going to, and in Islam saying that Ian's going to dance around. I think Islam knows this is a tough fight. I think Islam is aware of how hard it's going to be to get a hold of Ian. Ian's long. He's sharp. He's fast. He's focused. He wants this more than he wants oxygen in his lungs. That's how bad he wants it. Islam's been at the top, moved up, won the belt, champ. How much more does he want it? He can't go out there and lose, but does he want it as bad as Ian Garry?
Breaking down the stand-up battle, Kenny Florian argued that Ian Machado Garry's movement is the foundation of his striking game and could be his biggest weapon against Islam Makhachev. Florian believes Garry's footwork, along with his size and reach, would allow him to control distance with jabs, straight shots, and kicks, while forcing Islam to chase the fight. At the same time, he warned that the momentum could change immediately if Makhachev succeeds in getting inside, tying Garry up, and turning the contest into a close-range battle.
What makes Ian Garry Machado so interesting is the fact that his striking is all predicated off of his footwork. And that is the key to success against someone like Islam Makhachev, who's trying to get into that clinch position. And it's one thing to be able to strike. It's another thing to be able to strike and move. And Ian does that extremely well. He's going to have to be on his bike repeatedly. And it's further complicated for Islam Makhachev because of that length that you talked about as well, Ray. This is a guy who's what, like 6'3", 170 pounds. Yeah. He can use those long-range weapons, be it the teeth down the middle or the kicks upstairs or those long jabs, to keep Islam frustrated and maybe force him into some bad shots. Now, if Islam is able to get to that clinch and find a way to get on the inside, then, you know, I think he has his way with Ian Machado Garry.
Expanding on that idea, Ray Longo argued that Ian Garry's mobility and unconventional striking make him a particularly tricky opponent for Islam Makhachev. He noted that Garry's constant movement and unpredictable attacks separate him from more straightforward fighters, potentially presenting Islam with a difficult puzzle to solve in the early stages of the fight.
I couldn't agree more. And I tell you, in the first 4 rounds with Prates, man, I don't think he had any problem with the movement, just to upset him. You know, it's easier when a guy's trying to take your head off to take him down, because they got to commit to those punches. Yes. And it does open up their hips. Like Kenny said, when you could punch and move like and it's awkward. It's not the prettiest thing. I think he poses a big puzzle for Islam.
However, Michael Chiesa was far less optimistic about Ian Machado Garry's chances, firmly backing Islam Makhachev to retain his title. Chiesa admitted that he currently sees very few fighters capable of dethroning the champion, arguing that Sean Brady's wrestling and grappling may have offered the most intriguing stylistic test. Even with new contenders emerging, he believes Makhachev has the tools to stay at the top of the division for as long as he continues fighting.
I think that Islam Makhachev beats Ian Machado Garry, and I just don't know. I don't see a world where Carlos Prates beats Islam Makhachev. I don't see a world where there's really any. Honestly, the only guy I really thought that could have gave Islam an interesting fight was Sean Brady, because of the wrestling and the grappling. And obviously, he's kind of fallen back down the ladder. And Michael Morales is waiting in the wings. But it really all just depends on how long Islam wants to stick around. You know, but I definitely think he wins this one.
Jed Meshew, meanwhile, took a different view, suggesting that Ian Machado Garry's clearest route to victory would be to capitalize on the opening rounds and catch Islam Makhachev with a fight-changing shot. Although Meshew rates Garry highly and believes his abilities are often overlooked, he emphasized that defeating the top pound-for-pound fighter in the sport is an enormous task. While he stops short of dismissing Garry's chances entirely, Meshew remains doubtful that Makhachev can be finished and ultimately expects the champion to prevail.
I think Ian Garry has a better chance of getting an early knockout against Makhachev than a late one, because a late one would suggest that he has completely shut down Islam Makhachev from any level of success, and that seems unlikely to me. Whereas like an early one, it's just like, oh, he threw a flying knee and Makhachev ducked into it and he got him. You know, like that could happen. I don't think Ian Garry can't win this fight. I think that he is a very, very good fighter, and perhaps underrated by people because he is an off-putting individual. He hasn't finished anyone since Daniel Rodriguez in 2023. Islam Makhachev's the best fighter in the world. Daniel Rodriguez is not. I think, again, not impossible. I think it is unlikely and foolish to think that Ian Machado Garry is going to finish Makhachev.
Despite Islam Makhachev entering as the favorite, Mike Bond believes Ian Machado Garry has the potential to deliver a stunning upset. In his view, a win over Makhachev would instantly become the defining moment of Garry's career, while bringing an end to one of the UFC's most dominant reigns. Bond pointed out that numerous contenders have tried and failed to dethrone the champion, underscoring just how dangerous Makhachev remains when operating at his highest level.
Maybe he wakes us all up and says, okay, this is why this guy is different, and in the process breaks the record, becomes the first guy in UFC history to win 17 straight fights. Like no one has made it beyond this point ever. So like he is trying to do something unprecedented here, and we see, you know, time and time again, these guys get to the cusp of this stuff and then they fall. So like I'm bracing myself for an Ian Garry victory already, but you know, Islam Makhachev is spectacular. I think as highly of him as anyone in the sport, any fighter we've ever seen. And if he goes and runs him over and we realize that, you know, Ian just simply isn't on the level, I would, one, be extremely impressed, and two, probably count that as one of his top 3 or 4 career victories.
Offering a similar perspective, Peter Carroll praised Ian Machado Garry's evolution as a fighter, noting that he has transformed from a more aggressive finisher into a far more calculated and strategic competitor. Carroll highlighted Garry's exceptional fight IQ and his ability to tailor his approach to different opponents, adding that those qualities make his upcoming clash with the pound-for-pound king, Islam Makhachev, especially intriguing despite the odds against him.
For a very long time, I can remember as an amateur, Chris Fields would be going off to these obscure venues, you know, like amateur fights at smaller venues, GA halls, and he'd be sending me videos of Ian, and I'd be sending to other media members going, "Holy shit, like look at this kid." It turns out he knew what the talent he had, and Ian has gone on to amazing things. Hey, he's changed a lot as a fighter, I think, in terms of how he fights. He was probably more of a stoppage guy in those early days, but his IQ is unbelievable. I think he has an incredible mind. I think he really zones in on how to fight different opponents and finds a way to do that. So it's going to be very interesting, given the odds stacked against him, fighting the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, Islam Makhachev.
With opinions split across the MMA world, the debate surrounding Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry continues to intensify. Some believe Garry's movement, size, and striking could create problems that few opponents have managed to present, while others remain convinced that Makhachev's wrestling and championship experience will once again prove decisive. UFC 330 now looms as another defining moment in Islam's reign, and perhaps the greatest opportunity of Garry's career. Let us know your prediction in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more MMA coverage.